Hey there, guys. So we are lucky enough to be interviewing, having a chat with the awesome Lou Corletto. Lou, welcome.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it, Sam. Honored to be here.
We just had about a 4 or 5 minute chat prior to hitting record on this Zoom interview, and I kept saying, well, we better wait and stop that because I kind of didn't want to waste the awesome content we're going through. And you're a wealth of knowledge. So many of the Australian chiros and New Zealand docs have never heard of you before, maybe. Some have, but obviously you did some pretty amazing work over in the Northern Hemisphere. And so tell us a bit about you. What's your story?
That's a long, I don't think your people want to hang out that long. My story, life-wise, so chiropractically, I have been blessed to serve in all 7 continents. So I've adjusted people in all 7 continents, yes, including Antarctica, 45 countries, probably more than that by now. I fell in love with this vocation. I'm not even in the profession, but the vocation, the place where people are inspired from that internal drive to help humanity make a transition. So, right, D.D. Palmer's original premise was chiropractic was to help people make transitions. And transitions for me is from that world to this world, so birthing, or from this world to that world, the dying process, transitions in consciousness, whatever it is. The gift of the adjusting process helps clear out the nerve system and upgrade it at the same time, so we have greater neuroplasticity, and we can advance and handle what life has to throw at us. So upgrading our systems so we can experience life at greater and greater levels is one of the greatest gifts of chiropractic. So I've been blessed to be mentored by and trained by some of the greatest chiropractors in our profession, and many of them are no longer in body anymore. And I dove into the mixture of both because of having some of the greatest mentors, the philosophical realm, so the wisdom, why do we do what we do, and what's possible if we do it, and then the art form to apply it. So I learned to really, and I still do to this day, keep developing my skills to the mastery level so I can learn how to access that life force, that spirit within through the adjusting process.
On that, you were mentioning before, are you saying about the one of your passion obviously is to teach chiropractors and that about the connection between the art form and the philosophy and kind of your journey through that. Could you maybe touch base on that for us?
Yeah, sure. So, decades ago. So I graduated in 92. And when I was in school, I was the president of the Gonstead Club. We had the largest club in the entire world. I think at that point there was 250 some odd members in a club at school because we were just on fire about this thing called chiropractic through that particular type of adjusting style. And I had been up to the mother center of the Gonstead system up in Wisconsin, a little town called Mount Horeb, where Dr. Gonstead developed his magic.
Yeah, definitely.
So I've been up there like 22 times as a student. I mean, I was on it. And one of the big things for me was learning vicariously from these masters, Gonstead and Dr. Alex and Dr. Doug. These are the disciples under Gonstead. And learning vicariously, watching these guys adjusting people who were broken, fractured spines, and like right then and there adjusting, I'm like, woo, blowing my mind. But it's one of those, if it's possible for them, then it's possible for me. I just have to grow my skills to be able to do it. And hearing the stories of Gonstead where he would, one kid was in a car wreck and was in a coma, and he walked in and they had x-rays of him, and he had a burst fracture of atlas. And he approximated the atlas and then adjusted an occipital condyle on top of a burst fracture, and the kid came out of the coma. Cool story. But the reason I bring that up when I share with people is scan, including yourself, everybody that's listening. So scan the entire chiropractic population. And if somebody were in that position, how many people know that that person needs to be adjusted, like from the philosophical reasoning wise, right? Most people's like, oh, of course they do. Who has the skill set and the courage to do it, right? Not cheer somebody else on to go do it, but can you step up in the fire and be able to deliver the goods like that? And I'm not talking about having a crisis practice. I don't mean that, right? Still from the place of ownership of your skills, your abilities, and a deep understanding of setting people free. So those are the kind of things that stirred me up to keep, and to this day, because I know that I don't know, to understand this thing called life and the vitalistic process, the vitalistic gift of the chiropractic philosophy, and delivered with an adjustment that is so profound, so gentle, but so deep in somebody's system that it transforms their lives. So it's not rhetoric, it's real. So I get to see miracles on a regular basis because we deliver the goods. So yeah.
That's and I mean I've heard you speak a few times in Europe, and the reason why we have invited you out to the In8 Summit this year is because I think you bring a level of depth to the vitalism and also experience that most of us would just be excited to kind of one day reaching in our lives. And you just ooze vitalism. You obviously have the understanding and the left brainness, if you like, to bring in that adjustment. And also you kind of back it up as well, because I know you've done Adjust World mission trips all over the world. It's kind of one of your babies. Maybe tell the world, I mean, obviously giving of yourself is so powerful in our profession. We know the value of chiropractic. Can you maybe just touch base? A lot of us don't know about Adjust World or the mission trips that you run. So whereabouts have you done mission trips so far? And maybe just touch base on that as well and why you do it.
Yeah, thanks. So years ago, I went on my first mission in '95, and it just blew me away. I was like, wow, this is, for me, was like the greatest way to serve chiropractic, because it was in pure service. Yet there were some things going on in that, the person who created that just didn't resonate for who I am and what I stand for. So, but that was the impetus to keep doing them. So we started doing them. First trip was in Brazil, and from that created this thing called Adjust World. And Adjust World is a play on world, really. If you go back to the triune, right? Force, intelligence, matter, but all things that are sacred. Three, the first shape in the universe starts with three, right? So Adjust World, which is to add justice to the world, to create a just world by adjusting the world. So it's a three-phase kind of meaning in the term, right? And so shine your light, get adjusted. So Adjust World then birthed that, to bring pure principled chiropractors who have awesome gifts of delivering the goods through these bad boys and girls, bad girls, with the intent of serving, right? So we have been in Brazil, Argentina, Tibet, Russia, China, Mexico. We've helped other folks who start them out in India and Armenia, once they heard what Adjust World did and the intent that we come from, and the sacredness and the respect, and the pure intent of serving people. And what we've been able to witness and learn from this process is off the charts. So some of the things for me is when we'd serve people and the transformations that would occurred back in the practice, but oftentimes took longer. And I'm talking about some wild stuff. There was this one man, he was probably in his 70s and totally paralyzed for, I don't know, 30, 40 years. 3 days into getting adjusted, he walked in and hands us a bag of fruit out of gratitude with the paralyzed arm. 14-year-old girls with scoliosis like this, who at the end of the week are standing up and throwing their braces in the garbage can, right? And again, happened in the practice regularly, but not in 5 days. Yeah. So I'm like, what's up with that? And then some of the things that I extrapolated, for me anyways, was, one, we go to most of the places to very impoverished areas where they couldn't afford care, and there's no such thing as chiropractors in those areas. That's one of the intents. And so they don't know what they don't know, which means it's kind of like landing on Mars and say, hey, I'm a chiropractor. And they go, well, what's that? You're like, yes, thank God, versus, oh, I'm a chiropractor. And they do the Macarena and start pointing to all the pain in their body, right? Because chiropractors have educated the public what we're about, which is back pain treatment. Not. So walking to a place where they don't know and you get to tell them, oh, what a gift. It's to set you free, to express your essenceness to the next level, right? To set your spirit free, your innate intelligence free, so you can be. So they don't know they're not supposed to heal. They don't know it's not supposed to happen instantaneously. So they do it, right? And they're not also imbued with the polluted mentality from media because they can't afford TVs.
Yeah.
So that part of just, here's this pure consciousness. It's like working with babies and animals.
Yeah.
Right? They unfold. So anyway, so that was just some of the amazing gifts. And the cool part about going to other countries where you can't articulate the language is it gets that out of the way. So we have to communicate here, right? Speak the one language, the language of love, and they just trust, open up, receive the adjustment, and magic happens. So then how do you take that and bring it back to your tables wherever you're from, in the Western world or even Eastern world, to take that same level of presence and connection and impact? And so when you deliver the adjustment, it's a life changer, right? It's not that they just feel better. Everything shifts.
But you know what's amazing is I'm known to speak a lot. So anyone that's on this call right now or watching the videos through our email or social media, they know that Sam very rarely shuts up. But when I'm hearing you speak, I'm kind of just blown away by your story and your passion. And you've got the two different left and brain working so well. I know that you're a masterful in your art, but also in your understanding of the vitalistic concepts and the passion of chiropractic comes together. The certainty that you speak with is just profound, and the amount of experience you've had telling us miracle stories, you know, is so cool. So I'm so excited about having you come out to Australia. I was rocked and blown away by hearing you speak probably 10 years ago and then 8 years ago at Chiro Europe and also other seminars around the world. And I'm so excited about having you out here. One other thing I've also loved about you is, you know, your connection to the source, connection to whatever you believe in is pretty profound. You know, you're a bit of a rock star in regard to the adrenaline side of things. And I've seen you on Facebook and heard about your story. Your other passion lies in skydiving and diving deep into the ocean and getting in tune with Mother Nature. Maybe, and then also even where you told me a story before about your house. You had a big house on the east coast of the States. Now you've moved to a huge ranch. You're totally off the grid. And even where you're filming this video at, maybe kind of touch base on those couple of things before you finish up.
Sure. So first, I want to say thank you for the invitation. This is an opportunity for me to pay it forward, to give back, to pay it forward to those that I'll be serving when I come and share. So when I get out of the way and spirit moves through, so the gift is received by everybody in attendance. And on that note, I guess one of the things I didn't share was the very uniqueness part of the practice. So especially in the States, in the Western culture, insurance was huge. Well, I had a 100% cash practice from the beginning. 100% cash practice. You had to come to classes, and just straight up. So the retention was enormous. I don't babysit people. Anyway, so has massive retention, cash practice, because people want to be there. So it's a sandbox, right? So I just did in bare feet and shorts and t-shirt because it was my home. It's my sandbox, and this is where we play. It's a sanctuary. So we used to have people come in even when they didn't have appointments, just to sit in the energy of the space that was happening because the magic that was occurring, right? So anyhow, the yada 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 yada. Just this past June. So we're in February. So this past June, my partner and I, we sold our house, and to enhance to step further into the gypsy lifestyle, if you will, because we travel a lot around the world. And we just moved off the grid. So we're in a small cabin that has no water and electricity. And it's literally a wood stove. So we cook on the wood stove and heat the place with a wood stove, and that's it. It's funny, the first 3 days we walked in, opened the door, and I reached to do this. I'm like, what are you doing? Talking to myself, going for the light switch. There's no light switch. It was never even wired to have electricity in this place. So it's on 70 acres, pure nature. And I love to experience life, but I also really like to challenge to find out who I am at my next levels. So that's why I often put myself in different positions to find out where am I playing in mediocrity, right? Where am I showing up in excellence? Where am I playing in mediocrity? Where's my fear hanging out? And I do my best to put myself in positions to feel that. And if that's hanging out with high-level people who function in a different world, in a couple of weeks I'll be in LA in a mastermind group. And these are just giant people in another universe that I don't play in. So I feel like a little kid in diapers when I walk in the room. But I do that to expand to me, to find out what I'm capable of at my next level. I love skydiving. I'm a skydiving instructor, so I can teach, I can take people out on tandems or go solo and that kind of thing. One of the cool gifts a couple of years ago, we rented a jet and took it up to 30,000 feet and jumped out. So that was sweet. Love diving, free diving, diving. I just got to dive with the great hammerheads, the 12-foot hammerhead sharks, the beautiful, just prehistoric creatures. I love swimming with whales and just love experiencing life. And to me, it's all chiropractic. So for those that come to play, I will be incorporating, how does any of that have to do with chiropractic? And it all has to do it because when you don't separate, I don't have a job. I experience chiropractic. I don't do chiropractic 9 to 5. There's no way to separate. You can't separate it. It doesn't come out of my cells. So then everything I do is connected to that. What is the life here? How do I do that? So,
you are going to rock our stage berserk. You have such a funny story, an awesome story. And even when you're saying before you play, you want to feel outside your comfort zone. I've seen a few of your videos when you're just hanging out with a massive smile on your face, and then the camera zooms up and you've got about 30 sharks above your head, and you're like, yeah, how cool is this? It's like, that's definitely making sure you can be experiencing life to some way, and also challenging your fear point. So I know that you pretty much practice what you preach. You're a bit of a rock star, and we could know when you have enough time in this interview to kind of go through all of it. But we're going to have you for 3 or 4 days down at the In8 Summit this year. We're going to be speaking on pretty awesome people alongside you, but what you're going to bring, I think, is pretty exciting. I've experienced it before, and this interview for me has also been pretty awesome. So we can't wait to have you. I know you're going to bring a bucket load of value and expertise and certainty and just love in general. So we can't wait to have you here. And any last words you want to say to those guys that are looking forward to maybe on the fence or thinking about coming or might want to be there?
Yeah, actually, I would love to end up on that. I don't know where you're at in your journey, whoever's listening to this tape, but if you're listening to this tape, and so I guess a couple different versions of people, those who are committed to be there, congratulations. I'm looking forward to meet you. So come up and connect with me before and after I run my mouth on the platform. I give you my word, which you don't know me, so it might not mean much, but it's the essence of who I am. And I give you my word that I will bring everything I've got to impart into you, to wake up your essence to your next level, so you can be of greater service to your community, however you define that, if it's local or global, so you can bring the goods and help shift the consciousness of this planet, because we need you. And the chiropractic vehicle is the best way to do that. But if we're playing games and we're being afraid, or we're selling out on the story to get acceptance, to make it around pain, to get acceptance, to get paid, you're not being a part of the transformation. You're being part of the problem straight up. And it's okay, but it's based on fear. So let me help you get out of the fear and step into your own authentic self, so you can walk up and walk proudly into your community, your practice, the world, and stand up and say, I am a chiropractor, but from this place, not from a Macarena place, knowing that you're making a massive difference in the planet, the environment, the inner environment, and the outer environment. So for those who haven't made the decision yet, I don't know if you're allowed to do this or not, but what the fuck are you waiting for? So if that's inappropriate, just hit delete on that. But seriously, what are you waiting for? And I get it. And so this isn't judgment or preaching. It's a call to action. Listen to this thing. Listen to this thing. Because if you're not rocking the way you want to be rocking, if you're not at peace with showing up, and not just in your practice, but in your life, right? Are you in love with life? And are you blessed that you get to turn people's lives on through this thing called the adjustment? If not, you really need to be there so we can show you how to do that, both through the art form and also through the communication. Because if you can't tell the story, they're not going to understand it. And if you can't back up the story with the adjustment, you're ripping them off. So let's get both happening, huh?
Dude, you couldn't.
See you in August.
That's so good. Love you. Can't wait to see you there. And you're a rock star. See you soon.
On the blessings, man. Peace.